Hi guys, Ben here from Coins to the Moon. So we have here Juvs from our Coins to the Moon community on Discord. But before we go to the actual podcast, let me introduce first our community. So we are a group of individuals who wants to make crypto easy for everyone, where we talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins trading, and people who wants to engage in DeFi. So it doesn't matter if you're a beginner or if you're an expert. So feel free to join us on our website on Discord. So if you're an expert, diba, you can also mentor the beginner. So we have a ton of resources to help you get started in crypto. We have daily summary. We have crypto academy. So these are the notes we got from our community, and then we compiled them in one place. And then we also have apps. So we compiled the best wallets, exchanges, trackers, and then we also have news, diba, from websites, from YouTubers, Twitter, and profits calculator. So soon we will build new things that can help you in your crypto journey. Ayun, sige, let me introduce Jubes. So we've been in the developer community for quite some time, and then we were part of Google developers group before, and then ayun, we became closer here in crypto. Ayun, sige Jubes, maybe you can introduce yourself, what you do outside of crypto.
Yes. So as Bench mentioned, so I'm also in the IT industry, currently in the research and development for health. And then in my pastime, I do crypto technical analysis and some part, watch videos about crypto. So yeah, that's why I joined Coinstothemoon to learn more about it.
So when did you start your crypto journey, Jubes? What triggered you, and then why are you in the space?
All right. This is very interesting because, well, I mentioned this already, this story back in our Discord server, but for others out there who haven't read it, basically I started my crypto journey back in 2017, December or November 2017, back when Bitcoin was hype mode. So from there, I started researching about Bitcoin. So since I'm an IT, I'm somehow familiar with how Bitcoin works at that time. And but back then, there was this application, right, Points PH, where you can buy and sell crypto. So that's what I did.
Mm.
Well, back in 2017, I was like a beginner in the professional world or in the career world, so my salary is not that high, but some of it
Mm.
some of it goes to crypto already. So back in 2017, Bitcoin was about to reach its all-time high, and at that time, the fundamental, the technical analysis, I have no idea. I just want to get in, so I got into the
Mm.
hype. That's why I got into crypto, and then from there it dumped, and that's where I hodled. So the term hodl, and
Mm.
that's what I did back in 2017, 2018, 2019. And back in 2018, 2019, part of my journey is that I somehow forgot my crypto, my Bitcoin on my wallet.
Mm.
So instead of DCAing that I bought back in, I think it was like 18,000, something like that. I should have bought more when it was,
Mm.
5,000, 3,000. So that's what, like, one of my biggest regret on Bitcoin. But it's never too late. So in the crypto journey back just recently, December 2020, um, that's
Mm.
where I got into Bitcoin again. So that's where I tried to hodl more into my bag. So I think, yeah, that's my story on crypto and how I began.
What do you think changed since 2017 and today, 2021? What do you think
I
are the
think,
major changes in crypto space?
right. I think the because back in 2017, I'm not familiar with some altcoins, some other projects.
Mm.
Back then, it was like Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin,
Mm.
XRP. Those were like the top cryptocurrency. And Ethereum. I forgot to mention that. But what I think the difference between 2017 and now is that for me, what is the projects that I've been seeing in the space. Very interesting projects like
Mm,
these networks, these projects for security, privacy, for DeFi, etc. So
mm,
with all those stuff, I'm not really into it, or I'm not really good at those kind of topics fundamentally, but I know somehow how they work. So
mm.
yeah, I think that's what's different between then and now.
Yeah, especially now, no, there's a ton of institutional adoption like PayPal, Square, Visa, Mastercard. All of the financial institutions now are into crypto. I think that's one of the
Right,
major difference. Because
right,
before it's mostly retail, right? And then most of the
right,
institutions are banning crypto. I think that's one of the major change also since
right,
2017. Ayun, Jukes,
right.
I know you've mentioned about Bitcoin, about Ethereum. What other five favorite coins you can share to your viewers, Dax?
Yeah, right. So first up is for me is Bitcoin, Ethereum. Um, third one, it is somehow most of them are in the top list. Third one is Cardano. Uh, fourth is probably Solana. So that's what's interesting for me. And the fifth one, I'm not sure, but I guess it could be Ave or Sushi. I think between either of them, because back in January, those were like some of the projects that I've been looking out when I was trading. So I was like leverage
Mm,
trading, and I'm using those coins. But for the fundamentals on how the project works, I have a little knowledge of it. But that's like least one of my least out of five.
yeah, sure. So I think your top five circles around networks, no, and then lending and then DeFi.
Then
So and
yeah,
as outside of those industries, what other projects do you think are great for blockchain, for crypto? So what other projects do you see? So
I think
let's say six to ten, top 6 to 10 naman.
okay. I think it's more on network because uh,
mm,
besides Ethereum network, Solana, BNB is also interesting, right? Because of its low fees, um,
mm,
how it pumped from since January with the market cap. So I think I can
mm,
include BNB. This 6 to 10 is not in order. Maybe I can just include them. So BNB it could also be Uniswap. So Uniswap also good. Um,
mm.
for the other stuff, maybe I think some crypto that involves with what do you call this? Um, shopping or something like that. How you use it on a daily
Yeah,
or not daily basis, but how you use it in the real world. So like in transportation or in when you're flying, Ava, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
There's
Kavala,
also
yeah,
Travala, yeah. One is what's that? STMX, I think, for shopping. Yeah, I think
loyalty,
those coins.
yeah,
I'm not. Yeah, I think those
yeah.
coins are what interest me the most. So
Nice, nice. Sige, Jubes, I think that's it for the introduction. Let's show the charts that you've ready for our viewers, for our community.
right, right. Thanks, Mitch. So let me just share my screen here. Right here on my Trading View account. Can you see my screen?
Ayun, yeah.
Right. So
Nice.
sorry if my screen, this is my setup. I have this blue theme on my chart. But before I talk about Bitcoin or the technical analysis on my chart, I just want to or maybe give you a preview on what's on my chart. So we obviously we have the price action. We have some moving averages here, 20, 50, and 200. Um, I also have below for some indicators. I have the MACD. I'm using MACD, the RSI, and the stochastic oscillator. So this one, the buy and sell signal is a super trend. So this just guides me when to sell or buy or something like that. So I don't really rely on this one, but I just have it in there on my chart. But moving on in my analysis, so I actually have prepared some. I think I'm going to show you three technical analysis that I've shared before, but I want to discuss it further in this stream. So
Mm.
the first one would be I guess it would be this Wyckoff accumulation phase. All right, so let me just
Nice.
check my. So let me, actually, I want to hide some of the indicators here. This except the volume. All right, so kind of like a blueprint, isn't it? So, so I have this one. All right, so I have this technical analysis since when we were back here, May 28th, something like that, when we had this head and shoulders pattern here. I have a target down to the downside. But anyway, if you're familiar with Wyckoff, so Wyckoff method is a trading like
Mm.
a pattern in which it's like there's this thing called I can't really explain it well, but from what I can understand is that there's a composite man or these are the big institutions that somehow manipulating the market. So you need to think like
Mm.
you're manipulating the market. So here we have this signals BSCS. I'm gonna explain to that later on. But anyway, for the wick off, it has two phases. We have accumulation and distribution. If you also know, this what we
Mm.
had back in February to March. This price action here is actually a wick off distribution phase. I think some YouTubers were doing
Mm.
this analysis, but right now, I think, in my opinion, we're doing this wick off accumulation phase now. Ready to go to the upside or to the markup phase. So
Mm.
we have this huge crash right back in where it's this May, and we had like a 50 to 60% crash, and then here it just says here that we have this point of supply, which is we can see the volume is really huge, right? In this bar, a set huge sell signal, huge sell volumes here. Then we
Mm.
reach our climax, selling climax, which is SC. So that's kind of the phase A of the accumulation phase. Actually, there's five phases: A, B, C, and E. So here on phase B, we have our selling climax, which we can mark
Mm.
as our support line. So as I mark the support line there, and then from there we had an what do you call this automatic rally, or
Mm.
yeah, we have this automation rally. So with Wyckoff kasi there's laws, or there are three laws, and it applies to this price action. And then we have this automatic rally, so we have this we use this as our resistance line. So we were trading
Mm.
in this region, so it's called trading ranges between 40 and 30. So right now we're at 35, right? So we have, after the automatic rally, we have the secondary testing to the selling climax. So we had that, and then the next. So that's what happened in phase B. In phase C, we were looking for a spring. So spring should be
Mm.
less than the selling climax. Well, actually, if you know, right, about selling climax, we had like a 30,000, but it's not marked here. But in this line graph, we closed at 33. So we're gonna consider
Mm.
that 33. And for the spring, we on phase C, we closed at 31, and then we had this huge bounce up to the 37 level. So
Mm.
in the phase C, what we're looking for is the test. Actually, I'm not seeing any test signal right now. So test is after you got the spring, you break to the upside, you need to test the support lines. So we have a support line at 34 and 33. So right now we're at 36. I'm not sure if we're gonna go down, but later on with my other technical analysis, I'm gonna show that there could be a possibility that we could still go down here. But anyway, we
Mm.
need the test, and then from there, it's going to test the supply. If we're good, if the bulls are back, and then we're gonna go to the upside. So this one's just a last point of supply. We have the SOS, or sign of strength, where
Mm.
we break the resistance lines and then test it again and then go to the upside. Probably, maybe, I don't know if we're going to make a new all-time high. So that's my first analysis. You have any comments or something, Bench?
I think all good so far from here.
All right. So that's my first analysis. Wyckoff accumulation phase. The next one that I will show you is this. Maybe this one first. Right. So this is an inverse head and shoulder pattern. Actually, before that, I had actually a like just open this one here.
So do you use these patterns before you buy? So let's say for example you use the Wyckoff first, and then so you're not convinced that this is the only indicator, so you need to look at the inverse
Right.
head and shoulders. So
Right.
is this your process of buying? So how do you
For
decide before you enter a position?
right. So I think besides making an analysis, I need to find more patterns in different time frames,
Mm,
15, 1 hour, 4 hours, 1 day. So that's where I'm going to start making a position. If this position is going to be short term, day trade, or mid term.
mm,
Usually I do mid term, so maybe like days, or maybe that's short term maybe. But anyway, so that's like my process. Um, yeah. So
mm,
going back with my analysis, so we have this. I just have this tutorial now on how to use the inverse head and shoulder, because inverse head and shoulder should be coming from the downside. So I just saw an analysis from other traders that they say that
mm,
it's going to be an inverse head and shoulder here. So we have this left shoulder, we got our head, possibly that we're going to come up to maybe, I don't know, 50K, and then go back down to 45, and then reach our new all-time high. But
mm,
what's not valid here is that inverse head and shoulder is a reversal pattern. So meaning we should coming from a downside or downtrend. So with this one, we're coming from an uptrend, as you can see here. So a valid inverse head and shoulder should be like something like this. You're coming from a downtrend, you make the pattern, then you reverse going to the upside.
mm,
So with that information, I have this. This is in 4 hour time frame, an inverse head and shoulder. So we have this inverse head and shoulders. Where we came from a downtrend, so we came from here. I did
mm.
not consider this as a left shoulder or anything, but this is what I can see. Let's go back to the candles. Right. So, right, and also I'm going to include our super trend. Right. Maybe on the 1 hour. This one's better. So here we have our left shoulder back in, what was this, May 28th. So this is a very big pattern. It's been forming since May 28th. So I'm not
Mm,
saying that this would again, this is an analysis. This is my opinion. This may be invalidated. So if it would play out, my target for this one would be at 45. You basically just going to make a line from the neckline down to the head, so you get that
okay.
line right, and then you position that in the right somewhere right here. So you'll get
Nice,
that
nice.
target. Just delete that. Okay. So right now we're forming this right shoulder. We have this cell signal. Yes, yesterday, and right now, if we zoom in, we have this resistance line in our super trend indicator. So I'm not. We maybe get a rejection from this level. So that's
Mm,
something that we need to watch out, because if we look at our other indicators, the stochastic indicator is kind of high. It could reverse to the downside. For the RSI, it's kind of the middle. It could still go to the upside, but still have some potential to go to the downside. But for our MACD, it's somehow going to the upside, but we may be seeing a reversal in, I don't know, maybe in the next 4 to 8 hours, something like that. Maybe tomorrow we'll see. But we have this sell off. If we get
mm,
rejected here, we should see hopefully a bottom of 33 or 34. So if you remember in our week off, we go back to our week off. That is our our goal to test this support lines that we had before. So this is the level what I'm seeing. Maybe I could place a buy order here, not financial advice. Take that with your own risk. But anyway, so that's what I'm looking right now with right shoulder. As you can see, also here I have a buy order here at 3,800. I have a stop loss at somewhere 32, but my target is this 45,000. So I'm not sure if how big is this. Also 33% the upside. If you
Nice.
have a 10 leverage times 10, that's 300. So what we're looking is all right. So there's a possibility to go down, but still there's a possibility to go up. So we have that second technical analysis. Got any questions, Mitch?
Yeah, so far all good. So do
All
you think that behind the scenes institutions are accumulating? Do you
Yes,
think
definitely.
that do you think that the El Salvador story is the beginning of, upcoming adoptions from other countries, from more institutions,
Right.
or
So with my comment on that with the El Salvador, that's not actually bullish news, but I do not expect that it will bump
mm,
immediately. So right now institutions are also trying to study the market, and I think since we crashed down from May 19, they've been buying these, they've been buying this cheap bitcoins right now. So
mm,
there's actually some data that proves that they're actually buying. So I don't know. Maybe let's see. For the El Salvador, I don't think that we're going to pump that quickly, but it is the beginning. So maybe I think Mexico is there's some news about Mexico that they're also trying to make Bitcoin as their legal tender. So
and
that's
I think
history.
Jack Dorsey tweeted about Nigeria also, but there's no details yet. It's just a flag of Nigeria and then hashtag Bitcoin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
That's it.
If you think of it, right, 10 years from
Mm,
now, people or like in the history classes, they will study Bitcoin, the history of Bitcoin, and they're like, all right, what's the first country to use Bitcoin as their currency, right? So it would be
yeah.
studied uh, by students. I don't know. I just thought of that. So Bitcoin, what we're seeing right now is history, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Agree.
more or less Salvador news. So let's, I think, to my last technical analysis, right? So I have this bull flag. So a bull flag, so with its word bull, it's a bullish pattern. So basically, you have this uh, upward trend, then you're kind
Mm,
of consolidating downwards bit by bit. So we have this line kind of a flag, so that's why it's called a bull flag. But its target is at 43, somehow close to the target of our inverse head and shoulder, which is 45. So not close, maybe 2,000 difference. But for the bull flag, I'm looking at we're gonna get rejected off this line. We
mm,
may bounce here, somewhere right here, 34, maybe 33. And again, this is
mm,
also again the test test line for our week of accumulation. So these three technical analysis are my ideas. This is like related to each other. So also, if we find this bottom at 33 or 34, this could be the right shoulder of our inverse head and shoulder right here. So for our bull flag, if we manage to break it to the upside, yeah, so my target is that 43. And to maybe answer your question in advance, how do I set the target of this bull flag? Basically, it's just this line from the top of the flag to the bottom of this, the start of the uptrend, and then you just
mm,
place it here, somewhere here. So this is like an estimate, depending on where it will break. So possibly if it breaks already soon, like somewhere right here, the target will change, be higher. So we have a 44 target. But I'm assuming if we get rejected there, we may break soon or later rather. So that's my target at 43. So I think those are my analysis for Bitcoin, short and long term.
Nice. So do you have, Jubes, do you have an estimate of the success rates of these patterns? Does
Um,
it normally go beyond, let's say for example, 50% of when you do TAs like this, 50% is the success rate.
right. For my success rate, I don't actually track um, my success rates, but some of my ideas
Mm.
come somehow uh, reaching my target. So not every, some of my ideas has a target. So some of them has been uh, they reaching my target. So I think one of the best example that I had before is, I think it was this one. So it's a bear flag. Let me just open this one. It was back in June 7th. So this is just a bear flag. So from here to here, we had this bear flag. I had a target of 32, right? And
Mm.
actually, I've updated my idea that we actually broke down and we've reached actually past 32. We even saw 31 or 32, I think. Yeah. So I think this is one of my trade that's been successful. But for other trades, there's actually more of this. We have this stuff right here. Okay, the next page. This head and shoulder pattern.
Mm.
I guess it's this one. No, it's not this one. This one is not. I think it didn't play out. So I have this inverse head and shoulder right here, and it had a target of 39, but actually it didn't play out. I keep track of these things. It did.
Mm.
So my inverse head and shoulders, once it broke to the upside, it tested the neckline and then pumped to the upside, and we somehow reach my target of inverse head and shoulder. Another one
Nice,
is,
nice.
I think is this one, yeah. So this is a mini head and shoulder pattern. I have a target at 33K, so I've got this left shoulder, head, right shoulder, a target of 33.7, and then I've been commenting some updates, and we actually reach the target. Somehow reach the target. Not, oh, there you go. So is it? Yeah. So I've reached the
Mm.
target at 33K. So for the statistic or for the percentage of my success rates, maybe I could say 50-50. Some of them are not
Yeah.
playing out. Uh,
Yeah, really nice. Really nice charts, Ju.
to add more of that, with the this yeah, it's a guide to on how we navigate the market, but it's not a prediction, right? So that's why when you see a TA bullish or bearish, it doesn't mean that it would work out. Well, actually, besides this bullish TA that I've been showing you for the past 10 to 15 minutes, I've actually had some bearish TAs of Bitcoin, wherein Bitcoin might go to 20s or 24,000. So that's why my success rates could be 50-50, but I'm not really tracking it because
Mm.
Bitcoin will do what it is, or Bitcoin will do what it wants. So we just have to be, ready whenever we have this dumps again, 50% of the downside.
Yeah.
Or if it pumps, then that's great for us.
Yeah, so this super trend, is this like real time? So for example, that buy signal, it needs to have like a few candles first before it notifies that hey, you need to buy now.
Right. So for the super trend, how it works is that let's say we started a sell signal here, right? So we started the sell signal. We have this resistance, as you can see. Whenever our price action is near the resistance lines, we go down. We were near. Actually, we were like touching our resistance lines here. We went down. So the moment or how it works that you get this buy signal is whenever you break that resistance line. So as we can see that here, that this candle broke our resistance line. That's why we have this buy signal here. And then
Mm, okay.
the great opportunity to get a buy order is to wait for bounce. It's not actually 100% working. So maybe it could be somewhere right here, but sometimes it will touch our support line and then it will go to the upside. So yeah,
Nice. Okay. Okay. Maybe you can also give us a background about the MACD, the RSI, and then
Okay,
yeah.
the stochastic. Right. Maybe like we could start with uh, since I can maybe do it faster. No? So for the moving averages, it's basically just a average of the price action for the past 10 candles. So if we have a moving average of 20,
Mm.
the 20 candles is just going to make an average and then it will plot the lines here. So it's a lagging indicator. So basically it just tells you what happened before in the past. So that's for the moving averages. We also have different types of averages like exponential. So under here we have our MACD. So we can just all right. So for the MACD, we have these two lines. The first line is the MACD's line. The next one is the signal line. So for the MACD line, the yellow one, this is actually the difference between. Let me just enter this. So we have this fast length 12, slow length 26. This is actually an EMA, a 12 EMA and 26 exponential moving average. And then the difference of those moving averages are plotted here. So if we are above, right? So if we are above the zero line, so which is above this one, it just means that we are bullish. And if we went
Mm-hmm.
down, it's going to be bearish. And then lastly, this pink line, the signal line, is just a moving average of the MACD line. So if we open it again, this is the signal smoothing, which is a 9 moving average. So basically the 9
Mm-hmm.
price of the signal, of the MACD rather, is just plotted out here to smoothen it out. And
Mm-hmm.
this histogram, which you can see here, the white one, it would be, it would, you would see a different color. I just have this black and white theme, but basically, if we have this it's going to the upside, it just means that the signal line or the MACD line rather is above the signal line. So we have that, and then once it
Mm-hmm.
breaks down, the MACD line, the yellow one, is below the pink line or the signal line. It plots you this black line. So in your case, it could be red, and for the bullish, it could be pink. So that's for the MACD. Moving on to the RSI, just to be very fast. So RSI is a relative strength index. It's oscillator of the momentum of the price chart. So here in our RSI, it has a 14. So it gives you the
Mm-hmm.
momentum of the 14 candles depending on which time frame you are in. So basically, if you are, this is in my setup, below 30 is the oversold territory where it's oversold. This is where you want to buy, and then when it's overbought above 70, this is where you want to sell or sold. Sold your
Mm-hmm.
close your positions. And then lastly, for the stochastic oscillator, it's kind of like the RSI. Actually, stock is the combination of RSI and another indicator, which I forgot. It starts with R, I forgot. But basically, it just tells you again the momentum of the price action. So if you're trading with stock, if it's high, you want to sell here. If it's low, you want to buy here. And you
Mm-hmm.
can see that it's kind of consistent. That if you see a reversal here, it's trying to go high, but sometimes it's not that really high, right? So yeah, so that's what the stock oscillator does. So I think that's all of the indicators that I've been using for my setup.
Nice, nice. Sige, Jubes, I think not financial advice, no? Pero what do
Yeah.
you think is the highest price for Bitcoin within the week? So you
Oh, within
mentioned
the week.
45 earlier. So is that your guess within the week, the highest price for Bitcoin?
When you say within the week, possibly by Saturday, Philippine time,
Yep,
something like that. So that's
within 7 days.
January,
Within
right?
7, yeah.
Say June 19th. So that's kind of far. Let me just go to daily charts here. So if you want to see maybe the price action in the next 7 days, possibly June 19th. So in this white broken line, what is my prediction? So again, guys, not financial advice.
Yeah, not
So
financial advice, guys.
what I can see here is that we may be we may be go down. We may go down based on our indicators here. So currently we are below all of our moving averages, 20, 50, 200. what is it? Yeah. And for the MACD, it's on a reversal going to the downside. For the RSI, it's kind of low, possible to the upside, but in the stochastic oscillator, it has reversed. But sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it can also reverse. So if you look in a bigger scale, the weekly chart. So this is in the daily chart. So for the price prediction, I'm not sure what would be the price in 1 week or on June 19th, but possibly it could be lower than we have what we have now. But based on my analysis that I've shown earlier, I'm positive or bullish that we could still go up. So maybe we would go up here at 42, but may get rejected in this 200 moving average. We won't know. So
Mm-hmm.
as you can see, this MACD sometimes is sometimes have this fake out, right? So you can see that it's trying to go down, but it has this impulse going up and then going down. So possibly, we can still find an impulse going up. So so that's what we have here. If we go to the weekly charts, the MACD is like we've been consistently going down for the past, I don't know, since March. Since March, we've been going down.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like 84 days. So if we got this light green in our histogram in our MACD, this one. So currently it's black, but if we see a reversal here, I'm bullish that we would go to the upside. And also we have this support in the weekly chart. We have the support, the green line of the 15 moving average. Possibly this could still we find some support here, and we can also see that the candle. So this is another analysis with the candles is a doji candle. So basically, this is an indicator that the market is undecisive, right? So are we going down? Are we going up? So we've been having this doji candles for the past 3 weeks. So possibly
Mm-hmm.
this some they say that this is a reversal pattern. So since we went down, then a reversal pattern here, and we have this MACD, possibly that may go up in the next, I don't know, in the next few weeks. The RSI is relatively low, but still it could go lower. Actually, there are a lot of what do you call this indicators, or I mean, sorry, technical analysis that we may still go lower than that, but we may find support in this RSI, and we can also see our stochastic oscillator here that it's on the very, it's very down here on the lower part of the stochastic oscillator. It's starting
Mm-hmm.
to reverse. Once we have this yellow line above the pink line, we may see a reversal. So for the for my prediction to next week, if we compare for the current price 35, I think it's higher than 35 bench.
All right. All right. So higher than 35.
Let's see.
Uh, let's see. Let's see. Yeah. This is just for fun, no? The price prediction. So don't
Yeah, yeah.
again to remind you guys, don't take this as the financial advice. This is just to check, diba, whether basing from the charts, if we're gonna reach the targets. All right. Sige, Jobs. I have two last questions. Um, do you think, let's say 10 to 20 years from now, do you think there's a chance that crypto might officially replace fiat?
Right. 5 to 10 years. I'm not a financial expert, right? But um, the way I look at it, this El Salvador news that we had recently is the beginning. And I don't think fiat will be
Yeah.
replaced. I think fiat is still needs to be in the system, like in the what do you call this, in the government or something like that. But cryptocurrency, 5 to 10 years from now, I think it would be more adopted by more countries. Not recently,
Mm.
some institutions are now buying, and possibly right now the El Salvador is just the beginning. So 5 to 10 years could be more countries that they would be using cryptocurrencies,
Mm.
but not really to replace fiat. So I'm not really sure about that.
Yeah, because the reason I'm asking is there's this from time to time there's this innovation transition, right? Let's say for example, before we have
Right.
telephone and then we have feature phone, which is the Nokia. And then right now, almost nobody wants to touch telephone or feature phone. Everyone is using smartphone. So there's a period there. Maybe for the telephone to feature phone, it's around, I'm not sure of the numbers. Let's say, for example, 50 years, and then the feature phone to smartphone, it was really fast. Let's say roughly around 10 years to transition. It might take a long time
You take it
for that to change.
right.
But we'll see, we'll see. But
It
it's
may
a good point.
coexist, but not necessarily replace. Right.
But I mean, for example, converting fiat into crypto. Let's say, for example, USD Tether type of currency. Let's say USD, or for example, in the Philippines, Philippine Tether. Do you see it as a replacement or still no?
As a replacement, actually not replacement, but it could still coexist. But in 5 to 10 years, if I'm going to predict, I think the peso would still be here, but the PhD or the Philippine Tether could could adopt. I'm not sure with the Philippines because us here in the Philippines, we're somehow, you know, with the technology, we're somehow adopting, right? So,
Mm.
so I think, so I think some institutions may use this cryptocurrency. I don't know, like Gcash, PayMaya, or Coinstothemoon, and then how you use it is going to be cryptocurrency instead of a digital database of not encrypted database of your money. So cryptocurrency
Yeah.
possibly a good option.
Yeah, I think because there's a huge difference between like a digital cash and a blockchain,
Yeah,
where yeah, because obviously digital cash is stored in a server, right? And anyone can can edit those.
feel
Let's say, for example,
it.
my
Yeah.
account on BDO, right? Someone can edit that on the back end. whereas
Yeah, yeah,
whereas on
yeah.
the blockchain, it's stored in a ledger
You
and
cannot.
it's public. Yeah. Final question, Jubes. So do you think right now cryptocurrency is the highest point so far within the year was around 2.4 trillion dollars in market cap.
That's what it is.
Last year was below 1 trillion dollars, right? Do you think there's a possibility to reach 100 trillion dollars? Let's say not giving a
Then
not considering time frame. Do you think that's possible?
say 100 trillion.
As a market cap, the entire market cap
All right.
of crypto.
With
Yeah.
crypto in general. 100 trillion. Let me just I need to compare it with something kasi I have this analysis or not analysis. I have this chart right here. So I have this market cap comparison between crypto, gold, and stocks and bonds. So with bonds, it's not showing up in my chart right now. It's so big. Okay. There you go. So the crypto market cap recently, right, 2.5 trillion.
Yeah.
But compared to gold, 10 trillion, stocks, 95 trillion, and bonds, 113 trillion.
Yeah.
Without considering the time frame, I'm oh sorry about that. I'm I'm positive that crypto may reach that kind of market cap, 100 trillion. Not I don't know when it's going to happen, but there's a possibility that we could reach 100 trillion. So if you look at it, the crypto market cap is very, very small, as you can see here.
Yeah.
And then we have this other assets that we have the stocks and bonds, gold. So yeah, so you can see the data here.
Yeah. Give you a story, Juke. So similar to you, I started in crypto around 2017. So I joined a company who ICO'd here in the Philippines. Back then I wasn't really bullish. And the number one reason why I became really bullish is I set a threshold, and I said that crypto will always be as a speculative asset until it reaches $1 trillion. When it reached $1 trillion few months ago, that's the time when I became really bullish. Similar to Kevin O'Leary said that he will consider Bitcoin as a scam until it reaches $1 billion in market cap, and I consider that also as a framework. What's the threshold that we need to reach in order for crypto to not be a speculative asset anymore? So yeah, it
Right.
broke the timeline.
To add comment to that, I think some of the what do you call that in the US, the hedge funds, where in
Mm.
Bitcoin there are now considering that Bitcoin is an asset, or somehow an asset that they could provide to their clients. So I think that's somehow also part the beginning of how Bitcoin would stay here in the in the
Yeah,
future.
it's here to stay.
Yes.
So I think one last thing before we end, do you have any advice for beginners who are entering into crypto? What do you think are the best resources to read, and then the mistakes that you wish to for the beginners to avoid?
Right. So if you're a beginner, I think as I have friends that I'm trying to convince, not really, but I'm trying to introduce them crypto market, the cryptocurrency. But somehow they're not really interested. They actually
Hmm.
want to see Bitcoin maybe go down further. Then they will buy. But in my opinion, if you're a beginner, do not do not what do you call this? Do not focus on the gains, but focus on the technology. So with Bitcoin,
Hmm.
because for us we are IT, so somehow we are familiar on how it works. But for other people, I think I suggest you do research on what Bitcoin, Ethereum, or other coins that you're trying to invest. And then if you're investing, don't go all in. Maybe invest what you're willing to lose for the other mistakes. So I really suggest that before you buy, you do your research. Don't just invest on some S coins. I'm just gonna say that word. Maybe you get demonetized on YouTube. But those S coins you may want to think about it. So I suggest
Yeah.
if you're a beginner, just focus on the stable coins. The top cryptos like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Binance, and uh, yeah, I think that's one of the main, main tips that I would suggest is to research. Don't focus on the gains. It will come to you. Just be patient. I think that's the second one,
Yeah.
is to be being patient. Um, Me personally, I'm not a patient guy, but with crypto, I need to be patient, right?
Yeah.
So if what we're talking right now is like we're really thinking in the future, 5 to 10 years. It's not gonna happen overnight. Maybe in some S coins it will at 100x, but it, but with Bitcoin and these markets and other coins, it takes time. So yeah, research, patient, don't go all in, and yeah,
Yeah, thanks, Juvs. In addition to being patient, there's a meme that's circulating, which is hodl. Hold on to your
right,
life. So, so similar,
right,
cryptocurrency is very similar to stocks, where it grows in value as technologies, as the blockchain, as the platform evolves, giving more people value. Uh,
besides TA, also you need to look at the fundamentals. For me personally, I'm more on to TA, so maybe 60% TA, 40% fundamentals. So do not focus mainly on TA. Maybe read some news, subscribe to other YouTube channels that provides you crypto news. So I think in
yeah,
Coinstothemoon website, there's featured YouTubers that you want to subscribe to. So yeah.
very soon Jubes would be a YouTuber.
Not really.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing about the community is that half of some of the enthusiasts there are TA and then some are fundamentalist. Um which is a good combination also because we can argue at some points, right? Coming from a fundamental perspective and coming from a TA perspective. Because I don't believe in just fundamentals alone. Of course TA is very important for checking the buy signals, diba? The sell signals because it's not gonna go to the top every day, diba? You need to take advantage of the wave. Um, so that's where TA is perfect, diba? If you want to accumulate cryptocurrency, but at the same time you take care of your initial capital, 'di ba? Parang you can accumulate more. So even though you're accumulating crypto, your initial capital is safe. So yon.
Yes.
Any sige Jobs, any last advice for
For the
before we end?
advice, I think I just come up with the advice when we say all in. So
Yeah.
I think what you want to do is you have two separate bags. We have the hodl bag in which you want to hold it for
Mm,
a very long time, and then you have this small portion, maybe 5%, 10% of your hodl bag to use it if you want to trade on a daily basis or maybe short or long term, mid term. Do not go in with the leverage of times 10 because you will get like I've been there. So I think that's one of the mistakes that I want to share with you. And for my last words, I think it's been nice. It's been a pleasure to share with you all of my TAs and sharing with you with my ideas. And thank you, Bench, for inviting me with this podcast.
yeah, Jubes, really appreciate the time now for preparing the technical analysis. I certainly learned because
Good to know.
I've mentioned earlier, the only thing I keep track of is support and resistance. And when I saw, even though I saw you on Discord, diba, you've been sharing a lot of articles in your trading view. It's really hard to make sense sometimes, especially of the technicalities. What are the parameters when you set those signals? And yeah, this tutorial would be very helpful, not only for me but of course the viewers, the beginners who wants to jump into TA. Jubes, thank you so much again.
Thank you, Bench.
Just to end this one, we will link all the resources that Jubes shared here. We will link his profile on TradingView. Yeah, I think that's it. So again, everything we say in our community are not financial advice. So for this is just our personal strategy. It might work for us, but it might not work for you. So just be guided always. So before you jump in any tokens or any coins, any crypto, always do your research so that you don't have to blame us. Just kidding. Ayun. So, hey guys, don't forget to visit our website. So, everything that we're doing here, we're not charging anything. Everything is free. All the tools, all the resources is available on our website. Ayun, guys, thank you so much. Happy trading and to the moon.
To the moon.
Thanks. Woo! Bye, guys.
Yes, Bench.